the lies from the fake, and I'm gonna keep it real, dog, and set the tone for how this thing finna go. Now, I'm here to tell you there's multiple doctors that have spoken about Caitlin Clark injury and pretty much how the front office and
Let's separate truth from fiction when it comes to Caitlin Clark's injury. Enough fluff. Let's get surgical with the facts. Multiple medical professionals have raised concerns that the Indiana Fever's front office, training staff, and medical team mismanaged her injury.
Indiana Fever training staff and medical staff kind of dropped the ball on this injury, bro. You just don't see stuff like this happening in the NBA, NFL. Somebody come back from injury, 2-3 games, and they hurt again. This time,
You don't see this level of breakdown in the NBA or NFL. Players don't return for a few games only to get sidelined again with something worse. This isn't a coincidence. This is a systemic failure. And now, a medical expert just dropped a bombshell about Caitlin's groin injury. And it's terrifying. This isn't just another tweak. This is red alert territory. She's not limping like someone with a sore muscle. She's moving like her body is begging for mercy. Her rookie season? It might be dangling by a strained ligament. Clark had just recovered from a left quad strain, something doctors already said would take 3 to 4 weeks. The team rushed her back in 2. Now she's nursing a left groin strain that occurred in the dying seconds of a game just days ago. And they're calling it day-to-day? Please. That's not how groin injuries work, especially for basketball players. This isn't a rolled ankle. This is tissue damage that takes time, and without proper healing, it's a ticking time bomb. First, the eye poke. Now the groin hit. What's next? A steel chair to the back?
WNBA superstar just returned from a left quad strain. We said be closer to a month. We said definitely longer than the 2 weeks the team initially said. Closer to 3 weeks. Congratulations, she made it back early. But now,
JCS Sheldon might as well walk out with entrance music and pyrotechnics because her defense is looking more like WWE than WNBA. 1 fluke is an accident. 2, that's a pattern. And Caitlin Clark has become the target. Stephanie White herself hinted that Clark will be seeking her own medical team. Translation: the Fever can't be trusted with her body, and who can blame her? New York is looking a whole lot more appealing than Indiana. Imagine Caitlin Clark with the Liberty, Sabrina raining threes, Brianna Stewart snagging boards, and Clark finally getting support instead of sabotage. It's a match made in basketball heaven. What's happening in Indy? That's a crime scene drawn in chalk. JCS Sheldon didn't just foul Clark, she launched a targeted attack. This wasn't incidental contact. This was a heat-seeking knee to the groin with zero subtlety. No slip, no stutter step, just full force and bad intentions. You don't accidentally land a knee there. That takes aim, that takes intent, that takes a disturbing level of aggression. And now Clark is injured again. Same spot, different side. The previous groin issue was on the left. This one, right side. That's both groins in under a month.
comes another injury on top of the left quad strain. It's a left groin strain in the last few seconds of the game on Tuesday, 2 days ago. They're saying it's day-to-day. Groin strains, especially for basketball.
A medical specialist broke it down. Groin strains are slow to heal and easy to re-injure. The tissue doesn't bounce back overnight. It's not about pain tolerance. It's biology. Re-injuring a groin in season, especially for a guard who relies on quick cuts and lateral movement, is a nightmare scenario. Let's not forget, this is the same Sheldon who nearly blinded Clark a few weeks back. That wasn't a hand in the face. That was a retinal scan. Now she's going after ligaments like she's checking items off an injury bingo card. This isn't defense, it's destruction. Basketball isn't supposed to look like a crime scene. And yet, here we are. The WNBA is letting this slide like it's part of the game. It's not. This is behavior that would earn you a suspension in the NBA or a lawsuit in any other profession. Sheldon isn't competing. She's injuring. Caitlin Clark didn't sign up for full contact demolition. She signed up for professional basketball, not dodgeball with knees and elbows. If the league doesn't step in, it's complicit. Let's talk medical facts. Clark aggravated her quad in preseason. It was labeled minor, but minor doesn't mean meaningless. A quad strain is a tear, and tears attract inflammation. When that inflammation builds up, the entire muscle can shut down. It doesn't just heal with ice and hope. It requires rest, complete rest. Doctors recommend shutting down athletes for 2 weeks minimum.
Fight, I just did a video on that. If you guys haven't seen it, pretty much say Caitlin Clark is going to look at going to the doctors, pretty much insinuated that she's going to get her own doctors, bro. And that's the right thing for Caitlyn to do, because at this point, Indiana Fever cannot be trusted. I keep telling y'all.
Clark came back too soon. And now, the groin strain on top of that? That's what happens when you rush recovery. Compensation injuries occur. One weak muscle shifts the load to another area. Now both legs are compromised. That's not bad luck. That's bad management. Fans see it. Social media exploded with slow-mo footage, frame-by-frame breakdowns, and outrage. This isn't just physical, it's cultural. The league's silence is louder than anything a whistle could say. The people aren't stupid. They know sabotage when they see it. This isn't competition. This is sanctioned chaos. Clark is being dragged from ice bath to ice bath like she's in a Rocky training montage gone wrong. If this were the NFL, she'd be listed as questionable, limited, and under surveillance every week. Instead, the WNBA slaps on a day-to-day tag and hopes no one notices. That's not just irresponsible, it's dangerous. How long before Clark's next injury isn't day-to-day but season-ending? Or worse, career-threatening?
It's looking spooky and Indy, bro. And New York looking a hell of a lot better than me, bro. Because I can see sunshine in the air, the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, my goodness. Sabrina raining threes. Caitlyn raining threes. Breanna Stewart getting mega rebounds.
And the madness hasn't stopped. Sheldon's back on the court, lacing up her shoes like she didn't just take out the league's top talent. How does that happen? Anywhere else, she'd be escorted off the premises. But here, business as usual. That's not officiating, it's enabling. The league has crossed the line from passive to complicit. If Caitlin Clark were anyone else, would this be tolerated? Or is the fear of protecting the Golden Girl narrative more powerful than basic ethics? Because let's be honest, if this were LeBron, if this were Curry, we'd have emergency press conferences. Instead, we've got silence. Clark is playing through injuries that would sideline most athletes for weeks. And she's expected to perform like it's nothing.
Looked like she got a little hurt towards the end there. Is there any update on her injury?
No update. No, just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Yeah, just kind of to follow up on that, looked like she was kind of grabbing at her right groin area.
The reality? She's limping, grimacing, bracing every move like it might be her last. The league's biggest draw is being treated like a crash test dummy, and we're supposed to be okay with that. She's not healing, she's surviving, and there's a huge difference. It's reckless to expect recovery under full court pressure and hostile contact. This isn't a tough-it-out scenario. This is a do-something-before-it's-too-late scenario. Caitlyn's not just playing injured, she's being forced into the fire while still smoldering from the last burn. And don't think the fans aren't noticing. The drop in her shooting, the fatigue, the off-balance drives, it's all connected. A player doesn't go from sniper to scattershot overnight. The 1 of 28 from 3 isn't a slump. It's pain management. She's compromised. And still, she plays. Why? Because the expectations are crushing and the protection non-existent. She's breaking records and breaking down, and nobody's putting the pieces together. Or maybe they are, and just don't care. It's not just about this season anymore. It's about long-term damage. Groin injuries linger. They haunt. They don't just disappear because you will them away. They need time, treatment, and absolute care. And right now, Clark isn't getting any of that. What she needs is time off. What she's getting is more minutes. It's like asking a marathon runner to sprint with a pulled hamstring. The math doesn't add up, and the pain keeps multiplying.
Has spoken about this Caitlin Clark injury, bro. So it looks like here he said Caitlin Clark appears to have re-aggravated.
At some point, someone has to say enough. Sit her down, let her rest, rebuild her from the ground up. Not just throw tape on the problem and hope she lasts another game. That's not strategy, that's negligence. And if no one in the front office has the guts to say it, then the fans will. She shouldn't play another minute until she's fully healed, period. The Fever need to take responsibility. The league needs to enforce boundaries. And Sheldon, she needs consequences, not warnings, not whispers. Action. Because the next knee, the next elbow might not just sideline Clark, it might end her season. Or worse. That's not an exaggeration. That's the trajectory. And it's visible in every grimace, every limp, every missed rotation. Caitlin Clark is not okay. and pretending she is doesn't make it true. Ask any professional athlete. Groin injuries don't play nice. You make one wrong move, one pivot too hard, and you're back to square one. And now we find out she had that same injury in the preseason, that she was already nursing a quad strain, that these things are all connected.
Her right adductor groin strain. The tricky part about the groin strains is they are slow healing tissue, easy to re-injure, and constantly require.
Of course they are. Compensation injuries are how bodies scream for help, and no one's listening, except maybe Clark herself. Her decision to seek outside medical advice isn't just smart, it's necessary. She's not trusting her future to a staff that can't protect her present. And who can blame her? This isn't high school ball. This is professional sports. Careers are short, legacies are shorter. Every injury matters. Every misstep counts. And right now, she's navigating a minefield in sneakers. Where are the league's resources? Where's the dream team of orthopedic specialists, the strength coaches, the injury prevention experts? Where's the infrastructure? Where's the support that every generational talent is supposed to get? Because Clark isn't just a player, she's a franchise, a walking business model. And yet, she's out here getting triple teamed and body checked like a walk-on. The disrespect is unreal, and the danger is even more so, because this isn't just wear and tear. This is trauma, repeated, targeted, ignored, and that sends a message, not just to Clark, but to every player watching.
Or re-aggravated an issue she was dealing with in the preseason. She had a minor quad strain in the preseason that was well managed. It was a little bit of tightness in the thigh, hard to elevate, hard to push off. Now here's the issue. She was cleared to play.
It tells them that star status doesn't equal protection. That being the face of the league doesn't shield you from harm. That injuries are just part of the show, not something to prevent, but something to survive. And that's disgusting. We don't need gladiators. We need athletes. We don't need martyrs. We need leaders. And right now, the league is letting one of its brightest burn out for the sake of optics and ticket sales. It's shameful. And it's setting a dangerous precedent. What happens next? Clark gets hurt again, misses more time, misses the postseason, and the WNBA loses its MO.
But a lot of inflammation can develop around this small tear. And when a pocket of fluid develops around a small tear, then the thigh muscle in general can just shut down. So you have to be very, very conservative with treatment. So this is the right